Oh, hey, Alice. Thanks for joining us again on this magical evening. I have a very special guest with me tonight, a resident, the president, the prime minister of Mouthhole. You might also know him from the Metaphiles podcast. You might also know him from Springwater and Betty's Bar and Grill and your cellar underneath your house. The one and only Zach Caffrey's here. Thanks for being here.
Hi, nice to be out of the cellar.
We let him out every once in a while.
It's, I don't mind the cellar, but variety is the spice of life. So
Yeah.
it's exciting to think that people might know me.
Oh, dude. I before I knew you, I knew your friend Chop Chop Chang. Um, seen him perform times before we met.
Still never have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why I assumed you guys were friends. You just kind of like, I don't know.
Well, he borrows my clothes a lot.
Okay. You've never met him though.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. Well, that's weird.
Yeah, every time he is performing, I have to go into a phone booth, which there are so few of left that it gets very tough.
You know where like every phone booth is in like 100-mile radius.
I know them all. I know, the quickest one from any venue in Nashville usually is always the same one.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a distance too.
It's expensive. I'm paying a fortune in airfare, but
do what you got to do.
Yeah. And for me, what I have to do is stand in a phone booth for
Is that
30 minutes.
When you say have to, is this like a code of ethics? Like you hold yourself to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a matter of principle that when Chop Chop Chang is performing in Nashville, Tennessee, I just think it's the right thing to do to spend a couple $100, book a flight to Duluth, and stand in a phone booth for 30 minutes. I just think that's the right thing to do.
That's very noble.
I'm no hero. I may be a president and a prime minister, but I'm not in it for the glory.
Just do what you can.
Yeah.
That's an everyday hero. Not all heroes wear capes, man. Some wear regular clothes.
That's true, and I do wear a cape in the phone booth, but that's
just for fun.
That's just a mojo thing,
Yeah. Psych yourself up.
Right on.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I have to go to Duluth. I'm actually.
So, this is something I ask everybody. I used to ask people if they have any ghost stories, but really what I mean is, have you ever experienced something that you can't rationalize away?
I refuse to answer the question.
Okay, that's an answer. Okay, that's still an answer. Okay.
Oh, you're right. Ask me again.
Have you ever experienced something that you can't rationalize away with logic? Okay.
That's the true way to refuse to answer.
Yeah. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay.
I'm gonna just enjoy a nice, crisp, refreshing.
So
insert name of beverage here. I don't know if you have.
Brought to you by Twisted Tea. Oh. Smack me.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, now I can live. That's what I say every time I take a sip.
That's it, catchphrase.
Yeah, because it's just how I feel.
The only supernatural experience that I can't rationalize away is the taste of Twisted Tea.
And that was the real answer to my question. Have I ever experienced that? I'm experiencing it right now.
Okay, so that is interesting. Do you refuse to answer this because you may or may not have had like a traumatic experience?
No, I just I wanted to for a moment pretend to be the worst guest you could possibly have.
Even if that was your real answer, you got a long way before that's the
Oh,
case. Yeah.
okay. I'm going to answer your question, but then will you answer the question of who the worst guest that's ever been on this show is?
No,
Okay.
no, off camera. When Alice is gone.
Fair
Yeah.
is fair. Yeah, we don't need to bring that
Yeah,
drama.
no, no.
Was I supposed to bring Alice like a gift or something, by the way?
Yeah. Wait, you saying you didn't?
No, I did. I was making sure I was supposed
Okay,
to.
okay.
Obviously, I brought
Whew,
her
shit, man.
a pen because I know she loves
Dude.
pens.
Oh my God. You're like a really big fan of the show.
And a really big fan of pens.
That makes two of you. Personally, I hate them.
Oh,
And I don't even really. I'll just try not to look at it. But
do you want me to
no,
put it away?
no.
I'm not. I mean, I joked that I was trying to come out and be the worst guest, but now that I know I definitely can't.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Get that shit out of my face.
What do they say? Second place is first loser. That's a thing awful people say.
I was gonna say that's like not a good approach to life.
It's not, but some people really do live their lives
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah. So no, okay. I'm gonna be a good guest now,
Yay.
or attempt to be at least. I just didn't expect us to go straight to that one.
Well,
But I'm ready. Something that I can't explain, and it should have to do with the dead.
when someone experiences something supernatural, I don't think there's any way to know if that was a ghost or if that was something dead. So I try to stay away from saying that because that puts this like context on it that may or may not be true. Um, so I count psychedelic experiences in this, and people are like, "Well, you were tripping," and it's like, yeah, but like for thousands of years, that's how like shamanic practice has been done. It's like you get high as balls and then commune with spirits.
Yeah.
So I don't really discount that kind of stuff. But
And if you ate mushrooms, if everybody ate mushrooms every day, everybody, in the way that we all drink twisted tea every day.
Sponsor. We're not sponsored by Twisted Tea.
Don't now I can live. Sorry, every sip.
Every sip. Every sip.
It usually goes away after 2 or 3.
Okay.
Usually. But no, if that was status quo, that my hand is like that, then your hand is like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That raises some interesting questions about like the reality we currently observe.
Oh, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Because like my hand is not like this, it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's just how I perceive it.
Yeah.
Off the natural chemicals in my system.
In your system, and of course it can.
Sponsor.
For everybody that hasn't tuned out and decided I'll check back next week.
Yeah, no one watches this show, don't worry.
I have 2. They're like my 2 big stories I expected to tell coming on the show. But I don't know if I want to like just burn the 2 great stories right away.
Give me one and then we'll close with the other one.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So far I've been on the show and I'm joking around and it's all fun times. The one is a little more not fun and not jokey. The other one I take seriously, but it's less heavy. So which one do you want first?
Let's start with the less heavy one and we'll close with the one that's going to make me cry.
That's how I would structure it too. And it honestly might make you cry.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding.
It wouldn't be the first time that I've cried.
What's the most times you've cried per episode?
1.
Okay, I'm going to try and top that. Since I can't be the worst guest, I'm going to try and be
saddest guest. Yeah. Okay.
So, okay. This does not relate to the living or the dead of this planet.
Okay.
We're talking aliens right now. I assume you're ready for that.
I kind of, yeah. I thought that's where you were going.
Right. But that's not. I'm not.
No. I mean, realistically, like a ghost is also. This is something I talk about a lot. A ghost is an interdimensional alien. Like you have extraterrestrial aliens,
Yeah.
and then you have interdimensional aliens. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll ask people, "Do you believe in extraterrestrials?" And then I'll follow up with, "Do you believe in interdimensional?" So these two things go hand in hand, I feel like.
All right.
So yes, aliens.
So, in this story, I'm 16-ish. I'm sitting outside of my home with two friends. It must be said, I had smoked a little pot and drank a couple of beers.
Sponsor.
Pot.
We're sponsored by pot, yeah. And beer.
Okay. Neither of which we're engaging in tonight.
Okay.
But that has to be said. But
Yeah.
I wasn't wasted,
Sure.
nor was I stoned out of my mind.
It's important context, even though we both know that's not what caused you to see what you saw.
Mm-hmm. I just want to be
Yeah.
here with the whole truth.
No, you're really good at this because you also started out with you were with two other people when this
Mhm.
happened,
Yes.
which is also very important context. It's a very different thing than seeing some weird shit on your own.
Well,
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
no. The three of us were in a conversation about aliens. That's another important piece of data. We were talking about that. They started talking about something, maybe that, maybe not. And I sort of closed my eyes and put my head back, and in my teenaged, somewhat under the influence mind, I thought I'm going to put my brain out, try and send a message. And I thought out loud to these beings, hey, if you're around and you're hearing this, can I see something? I don't want to go up there. That's too much. Just maybe show me a little something. I open my eyes. I look over to the stars, and I saw three lights, three single lights moving around, dancing around. They formed into a triangular shape, hung out like that for a little bit, gone.
You have any you have any like context of how big these or how far away these things were?
No, I mean, I just saw three.
They could be smaller, they could be far away.
Three lights, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So then gone. This all happened not like in the blink of an eye, but fast enough that I was just sort of like mesmerized by it, and then it was over. So when you say I was with two other people, by the time it was done, I then like looked at the two other people and they were still having the same conversation they were having. So there was no chance to be like, guys, do you see it too? There was none of that. It was just I, a little drunk, a little high, a little 16-year-old, thought, hey, can I see something? And I think that I was given an answer.
Fuck. Have you ever tried this again?
No, I don't want to be pushy.
Once was enough.
Yeah, it was like, hey, can I see it again? Then
I mean, I'm gonna try this now.
Okay.
Because I think I think prayer is a powerful thing, and I don't really attribute that to like a god or anything. I think it could be as simple as your subconscious is very deep and like deeper than the conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when you petition the universe or yourself, whatever it is, I think that's a powerful force. So what like projecting things with your mind, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's fascinating.
I'm a big proponent. Proponent maybe is not the right word. I'm sorry, Alice. Proponent or similar idea.
You get one fuck up. That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay. What's the most amount of fuck ups anybody had on that episode?
More than one.
Okay, I'm going for gold on that as well.
Okay.
I want to be remembered on this show. Psychic phenomena, psychic ability. I believe it.
Yeah.
How many times you, Alice, how many times for you? I don't know if Alice has a phone.
Doesn't have a mind either.
Oh. Yeah, a phone. It's better than that. You're thinking about somebody and they call you.
Yeah.
We all know this.
Yeah.
I felt like during the quarantine, that was A, happening to me, and B, I was hearing other people tell me it had happened to them so much. Would you say that was true of you during quarantine, that there were a lot of those kinds of moments?
I don't remember specifically in that time period there being a lot of that. I'd have to think about it some more. I don't I don't I don't know about specifically that time period. This is a phenomenon that I'm used to. That's interesting though. Why do you have any ideas about why that might have been more during COVID? Is it because like we're separated?
Exactly.
Okay.
And so our brains were reaching out.
Oh, okay. So you're not exercising that when you're like in the room with someone. There's no reason to call their brain.
Well, it'd be pretty weird if I called you on the phone right now.
Okay.
I'm not saying we can't do it.
We definitely could.
We could.
That'd be horrible for the audio though.
Oh.
Yeah, let's both put ourselves on speaker. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. There's no point. There's no point in that. It'd be just kind of why did you do that?
Yeah. Why on a podcast, especially?
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're long distance, there's more of a you're using that muscle more.
Yeah. And beyond long distance, like you can't talk to the person in the house next to you.
Yeah. ESP is fascinating. Have you ever heard about like the government's done a lot of stuff with this that's not declassified? Like
I'm in on it.
like and you know like take it with a grain of salt, Dallas, but like at the most we do know that the government took this serious enough to fund a project in it. So whether you believe in that kind of stuff or not, the government looked into it seriously. And there was a guy they used to track submarines on a map, and he like pinpointed a bunch of subs, allegedly. Um, so I think this ESP stuff, like remote viewing, like telepathy, stuff like that, is I'm a big proponent as well.
Yeah, and I know I want it to be true.
Yeah,
and I assume you feel that.
Yeah, I also want it to be true.
You know, lifelong fan of the X-Men and whatnot. But is us wanting it to be true, much like me being pretty certain that I saw aliens flying around? Is my wanting it to be true? Because the two people I was with, one of whom I'm no longer that close with, unless they're watching, in which case I consider them very close to. But the other one does not believe this for a second. Thinks I was drunk and high and we were talking about aliens. So I was thinking about aliens. So I thought I saw what I didn't see. But I think I did see what I see. And I don't think it's just because I want to see what I wanted to see that I did see.
I think both of those are valid opinions. I think either of you could be right.
Wow. And I'm the one who's president.
I'm the new president of Mouthful.
Okay?
I'm taking over.
I'd vote for you because you managed to make everybody in the story happy.
Life is so weird. Like, what we do know for sure is so weird that there's a better way of saying that. Life is very strange. So to think you know anything about what's going on is kind of like really arrogant.
Absolutely.
Like we really don't know anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get down to like dig deep into it, like Descartes, like I think therefore I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, what does that even mean? Like that's such a like cornerstone of like at least we know this, and it's like what the fuck does that even mean though?
Yeah. Well, my dad said once that Descartes, he got it almost right. It should have been, I think, therefore I am, I think.
Yeah.
Then you have it.
Yes. Man, most people fight me on this. Like, your dad knows what's up.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. We don't know that either. We think we know that.
Right.
And yeah, all that to say, like people with like really strong dogmatic views on what's going on, it's like the older I get, the less I know.
Yeah.
Like I was so sure of things when I was younger, and now I'm like, the only thing I am certain of is that I don't know anything at all.
Yeah. And that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It keeps things interesting.
Right.
It's more fun to be like, I have no idea.
I think it's like for the individual, it's a better place to be because like if you have it figured out, there's nowhere to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's sad. Like to imagine that this is where like as far as I'm gonna get. Like that's a sad way to live.
Yeah. It's better to not be sure that you know anything. And we know that we think that's better, and we are sure that we know that we think it's better. So,
absolutely.
And we're right.
100%. Yeah. And I'll fucking fight someone on it.
Oh, I'll fight you if you don't fight somebody. How many people have fought you on the show? No, I won't. I'm not.
Physically, his first time for everything.
No, it's not tonight. Not tonight. I don't want to.
I don't.
We're drinking twisted teas.
Yeah. Smack me. You've seen that clip, right?
No.
The famous twisted teas fucking clip.
I wouldn't have known there was a famous twisted tea clip.
Oh man, I'm gonna show you after the episode.
Okay.
There's a guy in a gas station, like this white guy being really racist and saying slurs to another patron of this gas station. And the black guy he's talking to, he's like he's being so patient and polite.
Yeah.
And he is like very calmly says something along the lines of like, shut up or I'm going to hit you. And like we are well past the point of like
where he would have.
You should have done this already. Yeah. Yeah. And he picks up, he has like a 40-ounce twisted tea in his hand. And he just, it's such a beautiful smack. The whole can just like explodes on this guy's head. And it's like one of the most satisfying things I've ever heard is the pop that happens when this can just gets crushed on this guy's head.
Yeah.
And this clip went viral a few years ago. You definitely need to know about this. Again, sponsor Twisted Tea.
And I don't mean to speak ill of our sponsor. And I don't mean to take us into the realm of the conspiracy theory. But I think that was staged. Based just on your description. Maybe. I think Twisted Tea paid to have that made, because what better commercial for Twisted Tea?
If so, I'm not counting that out. That might be valid. But if so, that guy took a real hit. Like the hit was real.
And like the hit to our understanding of the social framework that we live within as well.
Yeah.
It's hard hitting advertising.
It's true.
No pun intended.
Here we are. I'm not actually sponsored by Twisted Tea, but here I am talking about it.
That's true.
Yeah. And I definitely like it's on my mind after seeing that. So
Mhm.
you might be onto something, Zach. Um, Either way, it's a beautiful clip. Uh, and
I'm excited to hear the popping sound.
yeah, yeah, I'm not overhyping this at all. It's totally amazing. Uh, I don't remember how we got onto that.
From psychic abilities.
Yeah, actually, yes, that is
Yeah.
how we got there. You're right.
Yeah.
So how did human life begin?
With me,
Okay,
as far as I understand it.
okay.
I didn't notice
So
any human life going on before I was around.
see, that's fascinating because that's not how I understand
Well,
it.
I'm gonna smack you with it.
That's the Big Bang. It's the Twisted Tecan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit, we're getting to the bottom of it today, man. I was expecting to just have a silly old time with my friend Zach. I didn't realize we were like breaking new ground
The
here.
time for silliness has clearly ended. First there was nothing, and then God said to let there be twisted tea.
Hallowed be thy tea. Maybe the real Twisted Tea was the friends we made along the way. Sponsor.
Now I can start living. Well, we mentioned my friend Chop Chop Chang earlier. And the whole reason, well, not the whole reason. Well, the whole reason that I became a human that could make myself be called Chop Chop Chang. Sorry, Alice. I'm Chop Chop Chang. I didn't think I was going to talk about this today. I'm Chop Chop Chang. The reason I'm Chop Chop Chang is because once a long time ago.
To be clear, I don't believe you, but go on. About the universe, fine. About being Chop Chop Chang, I don't.
Yeah. Well, as you said about whether or not I saw aliens or not, both of us can be right. I think is what you said. We come from apes, man.
Yeah,
I mean we should go back.
Okay, we're gonna get on that in a second.
Let's do it.
We're gonna talk about that, but coming from apes is I think that's totally a rational and plausible explanation of how we got here, and it's also the prevailing idea about it.
Yeah. I also though believe that apes came from birds.
I never know with you. Never know. Okay.
That time no.
That time no. I'm really gullible. Like I'm really gullible. So you tell me apes come from birds, I'm like, yes, let's explore that line of reasoning.
No, apes don't come from birds, but I mean, you go further back.
Comes from
I'm reading David Attenborough's Life on Earth right now. Lovely. You can't read it and not hear his voice in your head, which is always fun. You know David Attenborough's voice.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he's talking to you, but he starts from very beginning, single cell.
Yeah.
So it's all that first.
Sure. Yeah. The sort of the like alternate ideas about it would be like there's the concept of a missing link, which is like the bridge between Homo sapiens sapien
Bigfoot.
and Bigfoot. Yeah.
He is the missing link, right?
I've heard some. That's a whole rabbit hole.
It might be rabbit hole.
It's true. Sponsor. I I've heard that might be Neanderthal. Apparently, I just watched the whole thing about how Neanderthals potentially were much hairier and stronger than we initially thought. So I've heard the Bigfoot is leftover Neanderthal.
Well, there's also because forever it was just caveman and then like the Renaissance with some stuff in it. Stay with me.
That's step 2 from caveman.
Yeah. Yeah. Caveman, then like some other stuff.
Posh French people.
Yeah. But what I really mean to say is like Neanderthal and Homo erectus. No, we're Homo erectus.
No, we're Homo sapien.
Right. Soon to be replaced by Homo superior, if you believe in that.
X-Men.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Please stop me when there's too much of that.
There will be no stopping here.
Okay. But there were multiple types of cave person, and we're not necessarily the best one. We're just the one that won.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I feel like I've just only been hearing that in the last few years.
We were not the strongest, and quite potentially not the smartest, at least in the like industrial sense of like making things. The Homo Neanderthalis is definitely stronger than us. Like the thing I was watching, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, so don't listen to me. But like was saying that like the regular, just an average Neanderthal could lift a human above his head and like throw him through a goalpost. Like they were like,
and they had goalposts.
That's
like crazy.
Yeah, like they could like punch a tree down. Like they were like
one punch, the tree falls down. That seems crazy.
They're I mean, maybe two.
Two punches. That is totally
They could throw a twisted key.
I mean, I can do it in 3. So
okay, so I got you. So I mean, yeah, we're the ones that survived, and maybe not even like could be like completely purely by chance.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the best ones.
Yeah.
Just the ones that somehow managed to live. But some of the like alternative ideas are like aliens came down here and fucked monkeys, which is why we're different from the other primates.
Yeah. I've seen some drawings of that are pretty convincing.
Have to send me those. Or like the stoned ape theory, like monkeys took mushrooms. And so
that one, I'm not going to completely discount it, but it always feels a little bit like something a deadhead thought of and was like, it's totally that.
Yeah. You take mushrooms one time, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we all enjoy smoking pot, man, but.
Yeah. Something just occurred to me. It could be all of these things. Mm-hmm. It could be that we progressed this way naturally.
Aliens took mushrooms, fucked a monkey.
Yeah. And then left.
Yeah.
They're just doing this everywhere.
They were like, I'm too high. I just fucked this monkey. I gotta get out of here, man. I don't know why I did that. We're not from the same dimensional plane. I don't know if I could get sick.
What if that was your parents and then like everyone around you was just regular monkeys? So you're like, why am I not like them?
Oh, that's pretty good.
It'd be scary.
I mean, maybe not the first stoned ape.
Yeah, maybe maybe you just didn't know that your counterparts are not like that.
Wait, are you okay? If the main character of the story is Ook is his parent fucked an alien?
Yes.
So he's looking around being like, how come all these people are just throwing shit at each other? I gotta get to work.
Yeah. It's like invents fire and they're just like throwing shit. Realistically, Ook would get killed.
Yeah.
Like the way chimps behave. Ook would he'd be too much of that actually, and then they just fucking rip his arms off.
Well, even as far back as our, in my opinion, simian ancestors, nobody likes. Actually, nobody likes that.
Yeah, they kill Luke for sure.
I might.
If Luke was here today, I'd bludgeon him.
Yeah.
With with a twisted T cam sponsor.
I'd smack him. Make a pop. Make two pops.
Two very satisfying pops.
That being said, let's not discuss violence against apes any further.
Fair enough.
They're
wonderful, and terrifying.
Also, we can discuss it further if you want.
Hey, it's your show. No, I have a completely different question for you. Would you rather, for the rest of your life, you can only walk or you can only run?
Can I choose only sit?
You can sit either way.
Well, walk.
Okay.
Walking's closer to sitting than running.
So, let me give you a scenario.
Sure.
You might rethink it.
I might.
So, your firstborn child is riding her tricycle into oncoming traffic, and here's you. No. And you just you're watching that happen.
That's faster than I walk, by the way.
Well, then
either way, you're not saying it. Yeah, okay.
So give you
okay.
pause.
Well, yeah, but I feel like if I'd answered the other way, you would give me a bad example too. Yeah. I see what this is showing. This is gotcha journalism.
It's the first time I've ever actually asked this. You just seem like the person to try this on.
Okay, I really felt like that was one of the standards. Okay.
I've asked people this off the show, but this is Alice, new to Alice.
Mm-hmm. So
are you a runner or a walker, Alice? Comments below.
Yeah, and keep in mind when you answer,
I'm gonna berate you either way.
Your hypothetical child is gonna die in front of you, so it's real fun on this show.
I don't see a scenario where, I don't want to answer it for you, but it seems like running is an inconvenience, but only being able to walk could be really bad.
Yeah, but let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're in a hallway and there's a door just to your left. It's the first door on your left. Then there's another door at the very end of the hallway. Behind the door at the other end of the hallway is a pit of spikes. Beyond the door just to your left, like 2 or 3 steps away, is just a really nice bed. In between the first door and the second door is one of those moving floors like at an airport. You want to try running past that first door? You're falling past it. You're falling into a pit of spikes.
So I'm really thinking about this now.
That's good because I really wanted you to.
I'm really thinking about this now.
I wasn't scrambling to come up with a scenario at all.
I see you. Yeah, I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I should have
how fast is this treadmill?
I should have somehow made your child be involved, but I forgot that part of it.
How fast is this treadmill going? Because if I'm running, I might be able to just run.
Fast.
Okay.
The second
I'm probably fucked either way.
Well, but not if you just walk to the first door. But if your foot even hits the moving floor, you're done. You're in a pit of spikes.
Realistically, I'm not athletic, so I'm probably going to die either way. Even if I take a walking step onto it, I'm probably going into the spikes.
I mean, by that logic, I kind of feel that way if I was trying to run. Just I get a thing in my stomach immediately because it'd be the first time I've ran
ever.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. In this world,
I only run. But
yeah. Like you're not gonna reach your daughter either ways. You're kind of what you're saying. All right, you know what? You've given me some food for thought here on this.
And that's what I like to do on my show, Rhetoric Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, man. It's thanks for having me.
Yeah, you know, you've been pretty good.
Okay, cool. Um, so moving on.
Yeah. Well, I have a what would you rather for you?
Yes, please.
This is something I've asked many people throughout the years. It's not a would you rather, it's a would you, wouldn't you. Aliens, to bring it back a little bit, aliens come to Earth. They land, and there's no trick to this part of it at all. So imagine that I say the way in which you will fully believe it. They make it known we are benevolent. We're visiting. Don't worry about it at all. We're gonna hang out for like a couple weeks. You hang out with us, we hang out with you. Then we gotta kick it back over to Globulon 6. So they've been there for like 2 weeks. They're shipping out the next day. One of the aliens who you've been hanging with comes to you. And also in this scenario, you've been in a committed relationship for a long time. Long enough that there's like true foundations of trust. Whatever that means to you. The alien says, hey, I'm taking off tomorrow. Your person, that person that's with you. I kind of like to nail
This is not where I thought it was going.
And then, like, you know, my bags are packed. Like, I'm back to Globulon 6 tomorrow. And I talked to your person there. Seems cool. What do you think? Is that cool?
I think so. If that's what the person in question wanted.
Mm-hmm. And it is. Okay. Or like you then have a chance to discuss it with said person, and said person is like, I mean, yeah, seems kind of cool.
I mean, would you look at Schmarlack?
Yeah.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd want to deprive them of that. Yeah, I think that's my answer.
There's no right or wrong answer to the question exactly, but that's the right answer.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like you're not gonna get this chance again, and like it kind of sounds like he's not like gonna come back to like steal her away from me. So
yeah, I mean, you can't know that for sure. Again, you've been hanging out with Schmarlack for like 2 or 3 weeks,
and he seems cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
seems like a race of just very like chill, trustworthy. Yeah.
Oh man, like the worst case scenario out of this though is like a pregnancy happens and it like it's like a fucking like alien like kills him.
Oh, well, but also maybe the next version of Ook from before.
I'd be like the foster child of this alien or foster parent of this alien though. So there's like a consolation. It's like
yeah,
you might have fucked my wife and killed her with your seed, but I'm the only one on Earth who gets to raise this alien baby.
Yeah,
so that wouldn't happen. The government would take him, but we can all pretend.
Go on the run together. Yeah. The alien baby has to wear a series of elaborate disguises.
It's like the glasses with the mustache.
Yeah. It's my child.
This freaky, deformed alien baby that's like half human. It works. It works.
And it might be the next stage in evolution.
It might be the Messiah that Jewish people are waiting on.
Yeah. waiting every day.
all this time. It's the second coming of Christ, really, and it's not what anyone expected.
I'm like Jewish by default. My mom is by default, and my grandpa was a staunch
Man,
atheist. But
sorry for your loss.
about the Jewish people,
Just kidding. That was horrible.
barely. I was trying to think which one.
I was like, oh man, so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah. But I don't think, in no way, like know what I'm supposed to be doing as a Jewish person, other than being very funny. But are we waiting around? I thought our whole thing was like, eh.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's funny you ask because this is a topic I actually know quite a bit about.
Okay.
I know a lot about Judaism, and they are still waiting on Messiah. So where Christians and like where Christianity and Judaism split is I did not think this is where this was going.
Me neither.
Christianity accepts Jesus as the Messiah. Mm-hmm. So in the Old Testament, in the Torah, it's prophesied that a Messiah, which is like a savior teacher, mm-hmm. will come and liberate people. So the only difference between like an ancient Christian and an ancient Jew mm-hmm. is whether or not you accept Jesus as that Messiah.
Gotcha. So we're waiting around because we feel like that last one that came was only so
bogus. That was a bunch of bullshit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they're waiting on a Messiah, which is this baby, this hypothetical baby that we've outlined here.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, man, like weird.
If the child of
Charlac and
your dearly deceased
Schmiffany.
And so the child, of course, will be named Schmear.
Yeah.
And I love a good Schmear. So
yeah,
I could be willing to accept a new Messiah, perhaps, depending.
So did you said your granddad was atheist, so you didn't grow up with religion at all?
No.
Okay.
Back to serious.
I was just curious.
Yeah. No. Grew up in a very religious house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not atheistic, just anything was open for discussion, but no doctrines.
No doctrines pushed on you. That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah. Where are you from originally?
West Virginia.
Okay.
Born and raised. But my mom grew up in New York, mostly Long Island. My dad, New Jersey. And they were like long-haired druggy freaks through the 60s and 70s who lived all over the country and then settled in West Virginia to get away from the people.
Fuck yeah. That's a cool upbringing. What brought you here?
Yeah, cool and not cool. Like West Virginia is a nice place full of, for me and what I look like, nice people. But it's a little microcosm. So I was always like, the world out of the house is that, and then the world in the house is very, a little bit of an alien, not in the same sense as our new Messiah Schmear, but made me into this whole weird thing that I am now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What brought you here?
Yeah. Finished school, college in West Virginia, and just didn't really have much of a plan. And my brother was living here with his college friend, Michael, each of whom are 4 years older than me. They were already both living here sort of for no reason. And I just didn't really have a plan. I thought I did, and then it fell through. And I thought in lieu of that plan that I thought was going to be the plan, I just kind of hang with my brother. So moved in with them. Those are the two people that I would go on to found the Mouthhole music venue with, and we still are just kind of operating with no plan.
On a serious note,
Yeah.
Mouthhole is like a staple of the music scene here, and you and the Mouthhole squad has done a lot for the community here. And
That's truly. Oh, sorry. Continue.
no, I was just gonna say, like, you've like live music saved my life. Like I wouldn't like I was raised very religiously, and I was also homeschooled. So like everyone I knew was in my church. And when I turned 18, like I moved out and I literally knew nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going to shows, and like that very like um live music saves lives. And uh like what you do is like extremely important. And I don't, in case you didn't know, like this, I just want to say thank you for everything you do, man.
Thank you for saying so. That's like truly gratifying to hear. Uh, I can only take my share of the credit for the mouth hold, but I won't be falsely humble, and I will take the credit, and thank you. Um, it's fun to do, and it's I hope that it's still cool. I worry that we're aging out of it.
What does that mean?
Oh, I just worry that we're getting too old to host a thing like that in a basement.
Oh, like a certain point becomes creepy. Is that what you're saying?
Creepy or just irrelevant.
Aw.
A little bit of both.
I mean, dude, Fester had a good draw. Like there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd do it if 5 people showed up for
Yeah.
the next several years.
Hey, the
watch
answer.
my podcast sometime.
Yeah, oh, for real. Definitely check out Metaphiles. It's my favorite. They're great. But
Yeah,
but I think the answer is do it as long as you want to.
yeah. We I don't know if we've ever discussed how long we'll do it, but certainly not stopping this year. Certainly discuss stuff.
Yeah. I personally I hope it never ends.
Yeah. Or I guess I really should tell Alice, like, there's probably only 10 mouthful shows left, so you should come out to all 10 of them.
Yeah. I mean,
Wink.
This could be the last one actually, because a meteor could strike at any moment.
That's true, and that is something that we're working on.
Okay, that's a great way to end the show.
Is this the end?
No. The end of a mouthful show.
Oh.
It's like
the end of your show going to be the meteor hits just me in my brain.
It's a really tiny meteor. That'd be so tragic.
I would be remembered.
Yeah.
Unless that's how they all end.
Well, only one way to find it. Well, you'll know soon enough. Okay.
Wait.
It
more just tea before that.
Sponsor. No, but no, but yeah, I just I really appreciate you. We don't say as people enough. Like we don't show appreciation for each other. But I'm a pretty emotional person, and I just want you to know that I really appreciate you, and the friendship that we have, and everything that you do. You're an amazing person, and you do a lot of really great things.
Thank you. I didn't know it was gonna be this kind of show. Are you gonna cry?
I'll save that for the end. Damn. But
I was.
Are you gonna cry a little bit?
No, I know. I knew that when I asked that it would sound bullying. But really, it was me being like, "Will you cry?"
I'll cry for you.
But not yet.
Not yet. Okay. You have to wait. But yeah, that kind of stuff doesn't get said enough. Thanks. We don't, as people, we don't say that kind of stuff enough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very conscious. Like, I don't have any plans on dying anytime soon, but I am aware that I will die, and I want the people that I care about to know that, like, they're valued, and I don't think we do that enough as people. it's like we're afraid of being vulnerable a lot of the time. But that's like one of the bravest things you can do
Absolutely.
is be vulnerable.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I appreciate your saying it. And I appreciate your, this sounds like I'm complimenting myself in a way, but I don't mean it to. I appreciate your love of the mouthful and your patronage of the mouthful because it does take the audience to make that thing anything.
Yeah.
And you've been a tried and true. And I want to say that I appreciate what you're doing on this show, exposing the artists in our community to a larger audience, not just me. That's an important piece of it.
Thank you.
And that's, that's what the mouthful is about, is like, hey, we saw this cool band and we want you to see it.
Like Tenacious D, like a mostly unheard of band.
We discovered Tenacious D.
Yeah. And you really like put them on the map. Like they're doing stadiums now, but it was really Mouthful that.
Yeah, that one guy's in movies and stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, it all starts in Mouthful.
But no, I and the two people who I run it with are all from West Virginia. There was not such a thing as the house show in West Virginia. I literally had not heard of that until I moved here. And so to be doing one just seemed so fun. And having done it as long as we have, I have sort of watched a handful of people grow up at our shows. And it's so heartwarming and life affirming. That's like, I watched some people who they were literally the first time they played at Mouthful too young to play at Springwater. And now they are married, own their own home. Neither things are ethical to me. But to know that, like, man, they had a cool, I believe and hope, safe place to hang out at when they were teenagers. I would have killed to have had a Mouthful when I was a teenager.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Killed. So, yeah, to be able to give that to people, and I use it, save lives. And now I'm going to say that.
It really is an important thing to have a place to go and experience something like that.
But yeah.
The first time I was at Mouthful was the thing Daly did with Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Flesh Eater played. I went out and I lost in the qualifier round against the person that took the whole thing.
Yeah. So in a way, you are the real winner.
It's like, well, we'll never know, because I mean, I definitely would have at least at most made it to second place because I lost to the guy who took the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say is that second place is first losing.
Only if you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that night and that I was like, I like Smash Brothers. I feel like I was pretty good at it when I played it many, many years ago, not realizing that was the kind of game that people kept playing since then. Oh yeah. And I just got demolished.
Oh, it gets it's sweaty. It gets intense. And I'm someone who continued to play it. Like that's the only game I'm good at, actually. And I just got decimated, like not even close. But yeah, yeah, man, it like as for like this, I do this because I enjoy it. I enjoy having these conversations.
And that's true of us as well, you know.
Yeah.
We're not just out there being like, let's help people. It's like, hey, let's have something cool happen right down the stairs.
Yeah, you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think both, like, not like delusions of grandeur, like oh, like on a pedestal or anything. But I think both of like the things we do are really important.
Yeah. And let's talk podcaster to podcaster for a moment.
It's my legs.
Yeah. Welcome to Podcaster on Podcaster.
I saw a porn like that.
Oh.
This is the longest introduction to a porn, actually. Go on.
Yeah. So, as a podcaster, I'm a little monkey, and I'm so high on mushrooms. And oh no, my cable is out. Also, starting a podcast in this time, where there's a few of them.
It's like one or two.
Yeah. I had no illusions that my show Metaphiles
sponsor
would go anywhere.
Yeah, same.
And the fact that it's now the #1 podcast on Spotify, it's not why I do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that yours is the #2 podcast on Spotify is not why we do it.
Right.
Do it because it's fun.
Yeah. Even now, as the top podcasts on Spotify.
Well, the top and the second.
Yeah. Yeah, it's second place is First Loser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, it's doing anything creative in this day and age. I still have the hope that certain things I make are going to catch on in some kind of way. But it is absolutely now more than ever. I think it's just like you do it because you like it.
Yeah. Well, I think music's the same way. Like I know a lot of people that moved here from like New York and LA because they're like, oh, this is I think Nashville is treated kind of like what Hollywood is to actors is what Nashville is to musicians.
Including the chewing them up and spitting them out part.
Yeah. It's like people come here because they're gonna like, I'm gonna make it in Nashville. But the reality of that is Nashville is the hardest place to cut your teeth in music.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest. It's because there are so many amazing, talented people here that like you just kind of get lost in that sea. Like I think you really have to like you have to be really, really good, but you also have to stand out and be doing something unique and interesting.
Yeah.
And you have to be doing both of those things. It's not enough to be doing one or the other. And like, I really don't like, I'm an artist too. Like I do poetry and I'm working on a novel right now, but like, I do not envy musicians at all. Like,
no,
having to collaborate with other people, especially like being in a band, like we have to collaborate artistically with that many people. It's like that's a nightmare. And I don't really consider this art. And I'm not exactly saying that it isn't, but I just enjoy doing this. Like I actually feel like Metaphiles is a little bit more of an art piece because like you guys are improv satire. Like it's a whole thing.
Well,
it's kind of performative.
So I edit Metaphiles. And
the illusion's ruined.
Come on. I know that the whole mystery of the podcast was we'll never reveal who edits them. Our mysterious editor.
That's worse than the Chop Chop Chang reveal.
Yeah, so much worse. Because I do also wear a mask whenever I'm editing my own show in my house alone. And I like realized early on that there was room within the show to like play around because I love film editing. That was like kind of what I thought I would do with my life for a certain period of time. And when I realized like, oh, I can like cartoonify this moment and kind of like Photoshop an image here that'll and just sort of like make it a little weirder. And I always use the term Pee-wee's Playhouse. Just make it goofy. And then when Jay, my co-host, Jason Ford,
Sponsor.
co-host of Metaphiles, he is a sponsor. We have similar comedic sensibilities anyway. And but then when we both saw that there was the potential to like just kind of make it a little weirder, that just added this whole extra element of fun to it. But I still wouldn't say the nature of a podcast is that it's ephemeral. So it's like, there might be a moment in episode 30 of the show that I'm like, man, I worked really hard to make that happen. And I'm like really proud of how it looks. But that's 30 episodes ago. And there might be a number in between where it's just like, we sat down and shot the shit and it was really funny, hopefully, or fun to do at least. But there's nothing like that I put on my reel from it. That's the fun of it. I do.
You like the little touches. Like
I love the little touches, but then there's some weeks where I'm like, no little touches. No little touches this week. I guess.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, is like it allows for that, but it doesn't require it.
Yeah. That's cool. You don't really have like there's no rules to it. Like you can be as free form and have as much fun as you want.
When it comes to podcasting, there are no rules.
I know that's right, brother. Yeah, I do like besides sitting here and talking, like I don't do anything for this show. Like I I have people for that. But like Neef does what minimal editing takes place. That's all Neef. And like what I enjoy about this is that like it's I don't know, a lot of what we're talking about is just stuff you and I would talk about anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's not really an interview at all.
Yeah, I really thought I would sit down in this blue chair and have to like answer questions.
So,
which other than the time where I said I wanted to walk around and you said my child was going to die in front of me, other than that, it really hasn't been difficult.
what happens after we die?
Yeah. Okay, this is like big closer time.
No.
Okay. That's not the big closer time question. Well, I'm gonna say it should be, unless you're ready to cry right now.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll circle back to that. We'll circle jerk back around to that.
Okay. It should also be like the very end.
It's just you said you haven't had to like answer any questions, and I was like, this is the time.
Go with the hardest one there is.
Have you ever been in love?
Yes, I believe so.
Um,
Not with yourself.
Yeah, with like another human being.
Okay. Then yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. When you so like do you still feel that way when you look back on it? Or was that like in the moment you felt that way?
The person that I was in love with, I still know and still love. Love and in love feel like two sort of,
Yeah,
you can separate those.
those are different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in love for sure. And when I look back on it, is it a nice memory? Is that the question?
I think I could have asked this better. Like, I do a variance of this question, or have done a variance of this question, but I phrased it more like, have you ever been betrayed? And then when you look back on it, was that love. But I kind of just skipped the betrayed part.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend fucked this alien.
That's called a callback. We call that a callback in the industry.
No, I don't think I've ever been betrayed.
You know, so that's a great answer because whether it's love or business or friendship, you definitely have been betrayed at some point in your life, but you don't recognize that, and I think that's beautiful. Because it's definitely happened at some point if you just think about it logically. Like for you to have never, I mean, you're like the luckiest person in the world if that's not the case, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it can be subtle things too, like I don't know, like a friend said, like you loaned a friend something, you never gave it back, but like you don't feel that way, which I think is that's really good.
Well, I mean, generally, when you loan somebody something, you probably should expect that you're not going to get it back.
I don't agree with that.
Well, can I borrow most of your books?
No,
and like $30.
After what you just said, I don't. No, no, thank you.
You'll get them back as you expect to.
If you, I want to.
If you find out that I'm like, I say I've never been betrayed, but meanwhile, like everything.
Oh, you've just been betraying everybody.
I know, like everything I own has been stolen, and I just don't realize it. Like, no, when you give somebody something, you don't get it back. That's how it works, right?
That's hilarious. When you loan someone something, you shouldn't expect to get that back.
Loaning means you gave it to them, right?
That's like the opposite of what that means, Zach. I've gone my whole life. Oh fuck! I have a lot of things to give back. Holy shit! Oh my god!
I hope that whole thing made sense. I think I switched the logic of it halfway through, but I think we're good. Yeah, now I'm trying to think of a minor betrayal that I could point to. I'll try to think of one.
Yeah, continue on. You don't really like. You don't have to give examples of it.
I would. I'd love to call those fuckers out. Like only think
if I could only
they are.
figure out what it was that I'm upset about.
If I knew who I was pissed at, I'd name names.
You asked me if I've ever cried before on the show. One time when my buddy Michael Carter was on, he's been on a bunch of times, and I asked him that, and this was like the fourth or fifth time he'd been on. I asked him this question, and he's like, yes. No, he was like, what if I told you I'm the one that betrayed? And like he went into a story, and it like fucking got me. Like, yeah, Michael's awesome. He's a good dude. But like, I don't know. I try to be. I have like I have issues with the people that are like the closest to me. I'm like harder on, like hold them to like a standard.
Okay.
And I think sometimes I can be unreasonable. Like, I'm like never going to fight with a stranger. But like I might get in or like I don't want to be that person, but I've gotten in like yelling matches with people close to me. And I don't know, like I'm aware of this. So I'm aware that this is a thing I'm capable of. And I make it a point not to do that. And realistically, like part of that problem I have is like I drink too much sometimes. And my granddad was like, he was an abusive person, like was bad to my grandma and my mom, and like a terrible alcoholic. And I know like somewhere in me, I have some of his tendencies, although I've never done any of the things that like he's done. There's like, I'm aware of what my demons are, and I try to acknowledge that, and like just be conscious of it because we all have these things, and you can really only fight that if you, that's like the integration of the shadow. Like uh, when you, if you try to push these things away, they're going to rear up when you least want them to. So you have to integrate that. Mm-hmm. And we've probably talked about this before, but I'm a very radical person when it comes to the state of the world we're in and what we ought to do about it. So I have a capacity for darkness and for bullying, and
to be a bully.
To be a bully. I like conflict, and I've instead of running from that, like I've decided I'm just going to direct that, like Batman. I'm just gonna take out my aggression on evildoers. Mm-hmm. So that's my fight. I have a strong sense of justice, and I think here's the thing. Like I've talked to a lot of people on and off the show, mm-hmm. and we all, regardless of background or like political opinion or whatever, we all seem to agree that our government and our legal system are corrupt as fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
But what are we doing about it? And like, I'm like absolutely the kind of person that's like, well, I'm willing to do something about this. And I've been in more radical headspaces than I am. Like, not only thinking about it, but taking steps to do something I would have regretted.
Yeah.
On the book club recently, we actually read the Unabomber Manifesto, which is not a good thing for me to read.
Great for a book club, I would imagine. Not a lot of plot twists.
No, we've done a lot of nonfiction, actually. We did Art of War, Machiavelli, but it's like a lot of the things he says in that, it's like, damn, he's making some good points here. Sure. Then you like, when you look at what he did with his life, it's like, I can't justify any of this now.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish someone else had written that. Right. And
it's a real separate the art from the artist moment.
Yeah. So like that's where I have to be careful, is like I do have this strong sense of justice, but like there have been people in history who have had a strong sense of justice, and like I have to fix this, and ended up becoming the worst people in the world. But anyway, what I've realized is ultimately this is as much as I realistically do about that, is talk about it with people.
This is your bomb.
This is my bomb. Dude. It's gonna go off in a second.
Like it's been going off for the last
like a fucking hour-long explosion. It's been taking place in my pants.
Oh. Happy to be here.
Anyway, long rant.
The idea of betrayal is what I think got you off on all that. Not
got me off.
Got you off for an hour in your pants.
Sponsor. In your pants. This episode is brought to you by premature ejaculation.
What's the promo code? Let's get to it. I could use a subscription. Some about that every guest you've ever had doesn't like the government. I like them. No, that's not true. I feel like it used to be like almost a hack joke that like every politician is a liar. Mm. That's like when we were growing up, that was like, did they lie? Well, they must be a politician. But now it's like everybody thinks that, but only about one side or the other. And I truly, that's the most political I can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird how
you make a good point.
We lost the idea that they all suck somewhere along the line.
Well, it's like,
except for me, I'm the president and the prime minister.
Right. You're my favorite politician.
Thanks.
But it like that's a real thing where it's like people are very partisan now.
Yeah.
And um, all of that is absolutely instrumental and by design.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like that's how they want it. The big they, like
Yeah.
Big Brother
Yeah. The
wants
they,
it
that's
that way.
not the us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really the only division, like, because we could do something about it. We used to do this, like the French Revolution, like the Boston Tea Party, like the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
We used to be like, hey, you know what? Fuck you guys. We're not gonna take it. And no,
I don't think that's what that song was about.
we're not gonna take it. But you know,
I guess it was. Yeah, we're not gonna take it, and it could be anything. Pretty genius songwriting, actually.
Yeah, like they're talking about what everyone would be talking.
Yeah, it. But what do you got?
But we haven't done that in a long time. We have not held our government accountable for anything
Yeah,
in a long time.
I mean, some people thought they were doing that.
Oh, recently. Yeah, okay, actually, on that, and then we'll get off of that.
Yeah, let's not even.
No. It's what I'm gonna say is fine.
Okay, it is your show.
Yeah. Every because you're obviously talking about January 6th.
Yeah.
But
and how cool it was.
Super badass, dude.
Do you see that dude that was a Minotaur? He was an actual Minotaur.
What do they call him? It's not important. Fuck that guy. But that and like the riots that were happening a few years ago. These are things that real people did.
Yeah.
But government also infiltrated.
Sure.
And changed it.
Yeah.
So I think that's like any movement you start is just going to be chock full of feds.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try and swing away. Yeah. Any revolution other than, of course, the rhetoric rabbit hole revolution, the propaganda machine as an entity has gotten so powerful. And this goes back to like some William S. Burroughs type stuff. If you have 3 tape recorders, you're God. You can create any reality you want. It would be hard for a revolution to happen because it would immediately get just segmented out and have commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Just a T. And you know.
No, I hear you.
Hard to keep it all in place.
Where I'm at now is we can't have a violent revolution. And I've thought about this more than probably a lot of people. And we can't, like, that just wouldn't work because like we have the numbers and I think we definitely have enough guns. And the military is not gonna fight back against American citizens. Like they're gonna get behind it. But we have the UN, so they can just send people here that are also propagandized and are not speaking English, and they're told, hey, we need to save America from these radicals. So they just put other people here to fight. But
I think as soon as you use the word we, though, you already kind of lost it. Where it's like, what if my we and your we is not the same thing?
Yes, and this is actually,
I drink Pepsi and you drink Coke.
Thank you for bringing it back because that's actually how I got on this tangent. I just remembered is the partisan like all politicians are corrupt on the other side, but not mine.
Right.
That's there's only one, us and them, and that is the people and the government. And what they do is they try to divide people on everything else.
Can I go even a little further?
Yeah.
There's only one us and one them. And the us is you, me, and Alice, and them is everybody else.
It's just us, brother.
It's just us and Alice, brother and Alice.
Brother.
No, sorry.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
There's more people than what exist outside this room.
Why can't I see them then? This is the part of the podcast that I'm a bad guest for, but I'm trying to take it seriously.
I'll get away from this because this is a whole thing. But all of that was to say that people are being divided on purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
Over gender, over race, over literally everything that isn't a people united against the government.
And it has to be said within the things you listed, economic class that's the biggest one.
That might actually be the thing, because the government is just puppets to the super elite. So it really is like a poor people versus rich people. I think.
And I count myself very much as a poor person. Very much.
Even with how successful Metaphiles is.
We
the prime minister.
We donate all the Metaphiles money to charity.
To the government.
Well,
they need as much help as they can get, man.
I mean, that's a kind of charity.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, like, we don't have to overthrow the government, because everyone I know has already decided we're just gonna ignore certain laws, like like contraband, like narcotics.
Yeah.
We're just gonna smoke weed even though it's illegal, because fuck you guys. So we're just selective as people. We're very selective about what laws we decide to obey.
Yeah.
So we could do this with any law, and we don't have to overthrow a violent revolution. We can just stop obeying the laws.
With any law.
With any law that we all agree about. For example.
We all have to agree. Okay.
Well, let's say a large number of us has to agree about it.
Okay.
Because there are people that still are like, drugs bad.
Right.
And some drugs are bad. But for example, what if half of Americans decided they weren't going to pay taxes anymore? They can't get us all.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can make these changes without a violent revolution. We can just stop paying our taxes.
Okay. Well, look, I'll agree. I'm down. Yeah. I won't pay them this year if enough people are.
That's the thing, is we have to get a lot of people on board with this. So
how many?
2 more than us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And Alice doesn't count.
No, okay. Alice doesn't pay taxes.
Right.
It's revolutionary.
Yeah. So you, me, and 2 other people.
Okay. Yeah. That's gonna be hard.
2 other people.
It's gonna be difficult.
No.
Twisted Tea is a person.
It's a third of a person, I think, by corporate standards.
Doesn't count as a whole person. Okay.
Isn't a corporation a third of a person, by law?
Oh, is that a thing?
Something like that.
I do know about apparently corporations can be given gifts as if they're a person.
Yeah, and they should, because they've been very, very
especially
good.
Twisted Tea.
Yes, but very, very good this year.
But yeah, I didn't mean to get down that rabbit hole. We'll get away from that. I guess now would be a good time to ask you what happens after we die.
Is this the moment?
This is lay it all out.
Okay.
And also tell me about what happens after we die.
Oh, but also lay
it all out.
And that's what's gonna make you cry. It's not that kind. Is it that kind of show?
I don't know what kind of show this is. It's your show.
Yeah, you're right. And so now it's time to take us to the part where we cry.
Afterlife, brought to you by Twisted Tea.
Yes. Oh, now I'm not living.
Now I'm dead.
Now I'm dying.
Question mark.
Okay. You remember way early on? Yes, let's both crack on the episode. Imagine. It also seems strange to celebrating Twisted Tea when you just were worried about inheriting your grandfather's alcoholism, but
but
we're
yeah, I'm not always a bad drunk. Sometimes I'm a fun drunk.
I'm having fun right now.
Yeah. I'm just I when I'm not a bad drunk, I'm just a revolutionary drunk. I'm like, let's overthrow the government.
Yeah. You want to bully the bullies.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember earlier when I said that my dad came up with Descartes should have said, I think, therefore I am, I think. Yeah. Well, since he said that, he died. And he's dead. And that's real. Impossible for me to not slightly be joking about things, but yeah, he's dead.
He died and he's dead.
He died and
no shit, dude.
Yes.
Holy wow.
Yeah. Died when I was 23 years old. My greatest influence, my hero, one of my best friends, was raised religiously. What happens after we die? I hope something. Don't know for sure. When I was a kid, we had on our street in West Virginia all these trees, and we had what were called tent caterpillars, which they form this very specific looking kind of, it's almost like a pyramid tent in a tree.
Are there actual caterpillars?
Yeah. And I can picture one in my head right now, and I can picture the tent that they make, and it's specific to this caterpillar. It's this pyramid shape. And the way they do it is that slowly over the years, they move down the line of the trees. It's like the tent is in this tree, and then some caterpillars, and then they turn into whatever caterpillars turn into. I can't remember right now. Birds, I think.
Apes.
Birds, and then apes.
Yeah.
And then me. And then the next year, the tent is in the next tree over, and it just keeps going down. So over the course of my childhood in West Virginia, I watched these things just move down the line, and I always loved them. I love these caterpillars. They have beautiful markings on their back. And my dad, who was a very creative guy, right before he died, was talking about wanting to write a graphic novel about a cult leader who used bug imagery to kind of, that was just her imagery. After he died, when I was at the lowest point in my entire life to date, I looked out my window. We have one tree in my backyard. You've seen it. There was a tent caterpillar nest in that tree, that shape, in the middle of the yard. No other tree for many, many
your
feet.
Current backyard.
Yes.
I thought when you said you'd seen it.
Oh no, sorry. This was in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I gotta start the whole story over.
I thought you were like, yeah, born. My house in Virginia. You've seen it.
No, sorry.
Okay,
I was living at
the one big fucking tree out there that there's nothing else around. Yeah.
In that one.
Okay.
One of those. Directly out of my bedroom window, I can see this tree. It appeared there overnight. And this is one where I did say to other people, come look at this. And they saw it too. So, what happens after we die? I don't know. But that being there in that moment when I needed it to be there, because bugs and my dad and all, that's not even all the details of it. I think something.
Mm-hmm.
I think something.
Me too.
That felt to me what we would call impossible.
Yeah.
You didn't cry though.
You know,
I cried then when that happened, but I was like seeing it. And my dad was dead.
dude, what a fucking pussy, dude. You cried.
Well, I didn't have any twisted tea around.
No, like at the beginning of this, we were talking about how we both want ESP to be real, but we also want ESP to be real. So it's
right.
Like, I also think something happens, and there is the wishful thinking component, but I also my thoughts about the afterlife are informed by like psychedelic experiences, which anecdotally means something to me.
Sure.
But we don't know whatever it is. But I think something happens. There's like I was just talking to another person recently about uh, he was telling me that the point of life is to have fun and to be happy.
Pretty good.
And I think that's a really big part of it. But I also feel like this makes sense to me logically, but I also feel it on a very profound level that to be alive is a great responsibility. Um, part of that responsibility is to make the most of it, to live life to the fullest. That's your obligation when you're alive, but you also have an obligation to take care of the earth, to take care of the people around you, and at the very like bare minimum, don't hurt people, don't hurt to minimize the damage you do to the greatest extent you can. So I think there is a great deal of like obviously the only doing what you want and living life to the fullest cannot to me be the only thing, because I mean with that compass a lot of people would do unsavory things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the number one thing you should do while you're alive is like not make anybody else's experience more difficult.
And to drink as much twisted tea as possible.
Did I say that the not making other people's lives worse is the most? I meant twisted tea is the most important.
I think it went without saying. I'm actually just yeah.
It's like number 0 is that. Number 1 is make don't make anybody else's life.
Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. It's like also if you're gonna consume life, like I think you ought to be doing something, you know, at the very least, like having a good time.
Yeah.
It's like you're like whether it's animals or plants, like you are consuming other existence around you, and like maybe you should be at least having a good time and like not fucking up shit for other people. It's like yeah, so I don't know, I feel this weight and all of that to say like I think life is very important. I think it's like a very fragile beautiful thing, but it's also I feel this significance to it, like on a mission, but also just it's not to be taken for granted.
Life.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I say 2 things?
No, go on.
Can I say 1 thing and then a second thing?
You can say 3 things, but only 3.
Okay. I'm gonna say three things, and twisted T again is 0. That's implied.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, if people are watching this, if
They're
Alice, nobody is. Alice is. Alice, if you feel like I was being disconnected when I told the story about my real pain about my real dead dad, it's because I'm on a podcast and I processed it and I'm being performative. Number two is has to do with twisted T. No, that was implied. About that within number one, I feel very fortunate that I've always been kind of a happy-go-lucky, easygoing person, mentally speaking. I get so much joy out of being alive, or at the worst, interest. It's all so crazy, this whole thing.
It's so wild.
And like, there's blinds and stuff. You can't see those, but they're there.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like, that's around. The whole thing. But yeah, you should enjoy it and get a lot out of it if you can.
If you can. If you can't, you should maybe do something. You should drink twisted tea until you feel good.
That's such a terrible lesson.
Yeah. I mean, if you like, I'm having a great time, like with you, and also just in general. Like, we're very, very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Extremely fortunate. I have a hard time relaxing though. I'm like, I'm wound really tight.
Yeah. Well, and that's also the whole game is set up to not let you relax ever.
Yes. God, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's
existentially frustrating.
And the more I know, it's like, I don't know. I was raised super religiously, so it's like I feel this end time stuff a lot. Like it's all coming down. But honestly, man, like when I look around, I don't know that that's wrong. Like as an adult, like I have a really deep appreciation for scripture, but and that's like I have a deep respect for the Quran and like for like the Bhagavad Gita and like for all of it, man. But my biggest
Lao Tzu get in there.
Lao Tzu,
the Tao.
Oh, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you.
Get on some.
Okay, I will.
That was my dead dad's thing before he was dead, which didn't help him with that, but
maybe it did. Maybe.
Oh, I think it absolutely did, actually, and me too.
Yeah.
In when it actually did happen in real life, and I was actually sad in real life.
It's how he put those tent caterpillars there.
That's right.
That's chapter 5.
Chapter 5: How to make tent caterpillars show up where you don't expect them to. Yeah. That's the only book.
No, that's
the only chapter in the.
I'm sorry, that's
the way of the Tao that is a how-to.
And that's actually it's not the Taoist. That's in Ned's classified school survival guide.
Same thing.
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Man, I just keep being redundant and saying stupid Alex. What are we talking about?
Oh, something real, and then I made it stupid again. Because that's how I combat the frustration that the world won't let me relax.
Yeah.
Is I want to make a joke every 7 seconds. Sorry, you respect the religious texts.
Oh, yeah, I think like we are in some like my frustration is not with the text. It's the fact that everyone misinterprets it.
Yeah.
Like especially the Old Testament is like that's like I mentioned earlier, that's something specifically I know a lot about is Old Testament.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most profound, amazing things ever written, but no one understands it, including myself. And a lot of people really fucking don't understand it.
Right.
And that's really frustrating to me, where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't claim to be a Christian or like of the Jewish faith, but I know so much more about it
Yeah.
than a lot of the people who claim it know about.
Yeah.
The people who say they're that.
Mhm.
It's like it's so fucking irritating.
It would be like somebody taking a, I'm gonna say names that I'm not super I haven't read a lot of Walt Whitman or not him because his stuff's easy, but Yeats, let's say. It's like if you read Yeats's poetry and you were like, oh yeah, he's talking about killing those people over there. And I'm certain that's what he's talking about. Yeah. Sorry, that was a hack point. Cut that out.
He actually talked about Twisted Tea, is what
Walt Whitman did.
That wasn't Yeats, it's Walt Whitman. You're right. He's the one who talked about. No, it's Charles Dickens was the Twisted Tea.
Yeah, I feel like I blew the
Descartes.
last 30 seconds of my appearance. Can we start over from the beginning, please?
Hey, Alice.
Hi.
You came at a good time. I have the resident, the president.
My dad died, and then something crazy happened, and you're gonna cry.
Sponsor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all that too.
Okay, so wait, that's what happens after we die.
No, sorry. That people take this thing that is kind of these multiple things that are designed not to be interpreted, but to be sort of like felt. And they're like, no, it means exactly that.
Yeah.
It means that and only that one thing.
Right.
And it happens to be that it means the thing that benefits me, but that I'm sorry, that's what it says.
Just taking it out of context to fit whatever agenda you have. Yeah. And it's like
that's what it says. Look
at actually but like dude, like Hebrew is like the Hebrew alphabet is also their numbers. So if you're an Israelite and you're reading these scrolls, you're looking at a bunch of numbers at the same time. Yeah. And there's a bunch of number like sacred geometry shit embedded in there. So as soon as you translate that into another language, it's lost. And a lot of what it is, a lot of the weird shit that doesn't make any sense, it's like that's encoded number stuff that's just completely lost on people, well, including myself.
I gotta lay down one more bombshell in the episode.
Please.
I'm actually Chop Chang. I'm actually the editor of Metaphiles. My dad's dead. And then the last big one I have to do, I am Jewish. We do that. I know we do that already, and I forgive you. I forgive you. But as a Jewish person, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for revealing this. Jewish people are robots. We are robots, and I just can't keep it in anymore.
I'm not gonna say I fucking knew it.
Oh, I'm in big trouble.
But I fucking knew it.
Yeah, so that's why our letters are numbers and our numbers are letters, and why we
beep boop bop.
Why we say beep boop bop all the time.
Why are you guys digging tunnels though? Did you hear about this? You know what? We're gonna save that for the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to know why Jewish people are digging tunnels, if we're being honest. No, I mean, can you give me it like really fast? Why are my people digging tunnels?
Have you not heard about this?
No.
Oh my God. It all started with a tweet that was like that was like, I know this sounds crazy, but I hear people speaking in Yiddish underneath my house
Okay.
late at night when there's nothing else to hear.
Yeah.
And people were like, that's anti-Semitic. Go fuck yourself. Like a month or two ago.
Somebody, some random person on Twitter just said this.
Yeah.
And they weren't joking.
And they were not joking.
Okay. And they live on the first floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. There was a mosque or something that had not a mosque. That's not a synagogue. Temple. Yeah. Thank you, resident Jew, Zach Caffrey.
That's what I'm really here to
do.
Is
our Jewish correspondent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Expert on all things.
This just in, bagels up.
Pretty good.
They're up.
They're
up this month.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
They're doing great. They're doing great.
Good.
Anyway, Jewish people are mole people. What's going on?
There's like this tunnel system. Like there a bunch of Hasidic Jews got arrested for digging this tunnel.
Okay.
And I think it has to do with like if shit were to hit the fan and they're being persecuted, which let's be fair, there's a lot of Jewish hate specifically right now.
Right now and pretty much
all of human history.
Pretty much the whole time.
All of human history.
Yeah.
Even in their book that is not historical, they're being persecuted.
Yeah.
Anyway, and but that
before people knew.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't mean to open up that whole thing, but there's like a tunnel system in New York.
Yeah.
That Jews are using to get around. There's footage like this Hasidic Jew climbing out of a manhole, and this guy videotaping like, "What the fuck, man? Where did you come from?"
I mean, my answer to this idea of what are the Jewish people doing living underground? Have you dealt with this weather?
Have you looked around lately?
Have you dealt with this weather?
Yeah.
Of course we're gonna go underground. It's horrible.
It's actually
one day I need a hat. One day I need a t-shirt.
The greater question is why haven't the rest of us started digging tunnels? That's real. Yeah.
Let's all live underground.
I don't think we're gonna top the revelation of Jews are robots. So I think we're just gonna hard cut here.
Oh.
Because we're not topping that. We've had a lot of bombs dropped.
Yeah.
This episode, and
yeah.
I've learned a lot. It's been very, very deep learning.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm your student.
Have I been your deepest guest of all time?
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No take backs. Yes, you have.
Okay, and I'll be remembered.
I'll never fucking Alice is never gonna forget you. This has been fun. Get that off my fucking table. Quicker. Alice, check out Metaphiles. I'll put a link up or something, you know. This is a very funny guy. I've like been forcing him to talk about serious stuff, which is like not what you do at all.
Clearly not something I'm good at.
No, I think it was great. But Metaphiles is fucking amazing. I love it.
May I just Metaphiles?
Yeah, not to be confused with pedophiles. That's not.
And worst fucking choice of a podcast name.
Yeah.
I wish we had not chosen it, but sorry. I'm sorry. I am now being a bad guest because you're doing your thing.
No, it's okay. I'm just plugging you and like promoting what you do. As we've learned tonight, I mean, I still don't believe him, but check out Chop Chop Chang. It's not this guy, because you're gonna leave yourself a little too much credit there. But check out Chop Chop Chang, unrelated to this guy. Check out Metaphiles. Go to Mouthhole. If you don't know about Mouthhole, it's the coolest house venue in Nashville. And we'll see you next week. Bye, I guess. Go.